ho! Oh, ho, ho, ho. I love that, Brian. That makes my holiday season. I'd like to call to order the meeting for the Homewood City Council for Monday, December 16th, 2024. I'd like to now ask if Councilor Smith could provide us our invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise if you're able.
Sure. Bow your heads and pray with me. God of joy, it is your love that we find lasting joy. Keep us from seeking happiness in things that will not last, for we brought nothing into this world and take nothing out of it. Teach us instead to find joy in the everyday moments and the small things. In this time of busyness, waiting, and anticipation, help us to seek quiet spaces to hear your voice. For those whose hearts are heavy, bless them with the comfort of memories. We are your people, walking in darkness, yet seeking the light. Help us to come with hearts of gratitude during this holiday season. It's in your mighty and matchless name that we pray. Amen.
Place the flag. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Ms. Smith. Thank you for that. Okay, Mr. Segrist, if you can call the roll, please.
Yes, sir. Councilor Gwaltney.
Here.
Gear. Here. Allemond.
Here.
Wolverton. Sims. Here. Brandt. Here. Smith.
Here.
Nelms.
Here.
Andrus.
Here.
Harden.
Here.
President Jones.
I'm here. A quorum is present. We've got 10 people here, so thank you for being here. We have the council meeting from December 2nd. Do I have a motion to dispense with the reading of those minutes and approve them as distributed?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, that was made by Councilor Smith. Was that, okay, Gwaltney? Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes 10-0. Okay, board vacancies. We have two board vacancies, two that we need to mention. One is the at-large park board position, and that's closing on January 13th, 2025. So please get in your applications for the park board. And then Mr. Sims informed me that from the beautification board, Deidre Mason moved out of the city, and so we need to open that up, and your recommendation is to open that up until the 13th as well.
Correct.
Okay, so we'll open that. That is that's a Ward 3 spot, so not at large. So put it on the two of you. So if you could find someone, and thank you, Deidre Mason, for serving us so well on the beautification board. Are there any other board vacancies that I'm not aware of? Okay, great. Additions to the agenda. Unlike the past few meetings that we have all attended, we've added so many things. We only have one item that I would recommend adding, and that would be to other new business, and it will be 15-12-24. Request to authorize the mayor to sign contract with Huntress to increase cybersecurity, brought to us by Brandon Sims, our IT director. So that'll go under other new business. I do not believe we have anything else to add. So do I have a motion to approve the amended agenda?
So much. Second.
Okay, I believe that was Ward 2 here. So that was Mr. Wolverton, Councilor Allemond. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. That's now 11-0. Mr. Wolverton's here. So we're a full house tonight. We have nothing on the consent agenda. So moving to old business, 02-12-24. Request for permission to provide an update on the Griffin Creek Wall inventory, repair, and assessment. A report from Finance, Ms. Smith.
Yes, we heard from Cale Smith about the repairs on our creek walls throughout the city. And we had one action item, which was to spend $91,875.60 to approve a contract for a wall. And I can't remember, Mr. Smith, exactly where the location of that one is. Yes, over behind Luca and the Downs Foundation on Central. And the committee voted 4-0 to recommend approving that contract. Motion was made by Mr. Gwaltney and seconded by Counselor Harden.
Thank you for that report. You've heard the recommendation from Finance. Are there any questions? Okay, hearing none. All in favor of the proposed motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that passes. That's Resolution 24-176. 04-12-24, request to authorize the mayor to sign a contract and pay appropriation to West Homewood Neighborhood Association. Coming to us from Justin Limbaugh and Lester Smith. Do we have a recommendation from Finance, Mrs. Smith?
Yes, this is a budgeted item, and they're just asking to go ahead and get their budgeted money. The committee voted 4-0 to recommend approving that, and the motion was made by Mr. Gwaltney and seconded by Counselor Harden.
Okay, thank you for that. Are there any questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's 11-0. That passes. That's Resolution 24-177. 09-12-24, request for consideration of tax incentives at the edge, coming to us from J.J. Thomas and me. Report from Finance, Mrs. Smith.
Yes, we heard from Mr. J.J. Thomas and one of his attorneys, and we voted 4-0 to refer this item out to the full council without a recommendation pending the public hearing that we also set for January 13th, 2025 at 6 p.m. That motion was made by Counselor Gwaltney and seconded by Counselor Harden.
All right. So we will set the public hearing for January 13th, 25 at 6 p.m. Without objection. Okay, so that will be set. That's 11-0 to approve that. Okay, moving on. 10-12-24. Request permission to remove 2 trees in the right-of-way at 305 Mecca Avenue. Come to us from Tommy Trim and Cale Smith. Report from Public Works, Mr. Wolverton.
Yes, the committee voted 5-0 to recommend approval as long as the proper indemnification agreement was signed. The motion was made by Counselor Harden and seconded by Counselors Gear. And just to clarify, this is these trees are technically in the city right of way, so they weren't counted towards the minimum density for the property. So,
Got it. Okay. Are there any questions for Public Works? Okay. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It's 11-0. That passes. Resolution 24-178. Okay, 05-12-24. Public hearing set for December 16th, 2024 at 6 p.m. for the consideration of a sign variance at 202 State Farm Parkway. Fast-paced health, coming to us from Hutton, Homewood, Alabama. Autumn Francis, Sarah Murray, representatives, and Wyatt Pugh. Do we have a report from Special Issues, first of all?
Yes, committee met on December 9th and voted 4-0 to refer out the item without recommendation pending the public hearing. The motion was made by Counselor Smith and seconded by Counselor Andrus.
Great. Okay, thank you for that. That report. We'll go ahead and open the public hearing.
Is it okay if I pass out some paperwork with some
Absolutely.
percentages?
yeah,
Okay,
I'll get it.
That'll
I'll
be
get
fine.
thank you. There's one for yourself as well if you need that. So I've went through and done all the math that we talked about last week with percentages, what 20% of each window pane would be, how much square footage was used, and how much overage that would be. So I'm sorry if it's a little confusing. Please ask me for any clarification. I have it color coded on another sheet in case something may not be of just complete understanding.
If you don't mind, could you just introduce yourself to everyone?
Yes.
Everyone was at the meeting.
Sorry about that.
For the record, that would be helpful.
Yes,
Thank
my
you.
name is Kaylee Macias, and I'm with General Sign Company. We do all the signage for fast-paced health across this basically southern United States. So I drew the signage thinking that, one, it did not need to be included in the original sign permit, and two, thinking that it was under the 20% square footage allowance that's presented in the ordinance. So again, that's my mistake, and I sincerely apologize about that from the get-go. So not trying to hide anything on that behalf. So what it is that we're looking at today is some printed red ribbons that kind of give a little bit of an emphasis that the clinic is urgent care oriented. I know there are a lot of clinics, hospitals, everything, they have specialties. This was urgent care, so that's what their emphasis is, and that's why they're wanting to keep these ribbons up as they are. If you'll look through your packet, I went by last week, just before the meeting, and I took some photos of each elevation displaying what it actually currently looks like. I fine-tuned the numbers just to make sure nothing was any kind of confusing. I wanted to make sure that everything was aligned properly. So it includes address number, which we discussed last week, will stay up regardless. The 202 number will stay up whether the ribbon has to come down or not. So it includes ribbons on all of the top windows around the building, 3 just walk in vinyl decals, 1 urgent care vinyl decal, some no narcotic and no smoking stickers just for emphasis, that one, they don't want people breaking into their clinic thinking there are narcotics on the premises, because there are not. Encouraging people not to smoke for those who have asthma, other breathing conditions, and some QR codes to help customers just know kind of how the process goes if they need any additional information or anything like that. So all of this together is less than 20% if you add up all of the window panes. However, some are using 0% of that window pane, and one is using 39%. So as you can see, that one has almost doubled, unfortunately, what the allowance is. So what I'm asking today is for a variance to allow all of these materials to stay up as they are. Again, the total square footage allowed for every window on this combined is 70.61, and we are using 58.76. They are done in a way that allows people to still see in the clinics. It's not obstructing anything. I've added some figures. These are standard height, 5'9" for male, 5'3" for female. It's scaled completely accurately against the size of the building. So as you can see, there's no obstruction for a customer to walk by and not be able to see into the clinic. If there were anything coming that they should know about, then they would be able to see walking in, walking out as they're sitting. They would still very clearly be able to see outside with no obstructions. Are there any questions for me or anything that I need to elaborate on whatsoever?
Which was the one that was the 39% that you said?
That would be on the elevation. It's the last one.
Oh, the just walk in.
Yes, ma'am. It's the just walk in on, I think it's page number 8.
Okay.
So it would be this window right here. It says just walk in.
Yeah.
But you have 3 windows that say just walk in, right?
Yes,
There are
ma'am.
3. Okay, are the 2, is there one like where the door is and there are 2 on either side? Are
Yes.
there doors on the sides?
No, ma'am. They're, the windows are displayed as black on the proofs just for, like, it makes it easier to see, but they're fully transparent. You can see through all of them. Was that the appropriate way to
there's
answer your
no other
question?
windows on there.
The side.
Glazing on the front and then glazing on the side.
Yes, so there's, these are the windows on the front, so that's all of the windows on the front, and then there's 2 sets, or 4 windows and 6 windows on the respective sides.
And do they have any graphics on that?
Yes, they're outlined
Okay.
in pages. The side elevation that faces Milo's is going to be this side. It has two sets, or it has one, what I'm calling two sets, 1 and 2 sets of windows. And then the opposite side that faces away from Milo's and kind of more towards the fast-paced parking lot has 2 stacked windows. And that is where the 39% just walk in is on that side.
Does it, because to me, if there's no doors on the
Mhm.
sides,
That's what I think.
the just walk in on the side seems unnecessary.
Okay.
I agree with that, very,
Because you can't just walk in. You have
right,
to go around to the front.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I'm not sure that, I mean, and that, you know, I'm not sure by the ordinance if that actually, I mean, by the code, if that actually takes the percentages down, I don't know, but, I don't think those two are necessary,
I would agree with
in my
that.
opinion.
I mean, if that's something like you can, you know, it's a big ask to ask for, what was the total number, 9 or 11 variances total? But to, you know, to come down a little bit, I think those would be 2 that'd be easy to go, in my opinion.
And
The just walk in on
Mhm.
either side where there are no
Yes, ma'am.
doors.
I would just echo those sentiments too. I think that having the urgent care on the side elevations is helpful actually, but the just walk in is kind of a little bit redundant at that point. Also, I was out there and noticed there is a monument sign as well. So the signage is good from the front, in my opinion. So I think that urgent care on the side is relevant though, to help you know what it is, either if you're at the Milo side or the
Street
Yummy
side.
Bowl side, yeah.
Mr. Cook, could you articulate exactly what
I'll do my best.
the request is?
She is asking for, her variance to be granted. This is Exhibit A. All variances to be granted based on what she has got in front of you now.
But, and that is, what is the total number of variances?
Let me count really quickly. That would be everyone that's over the 20%, correct?
Well, were we counting the 202?
No.
No, because that's an address, that's the address.
That one is listed as 31, but I
That includes the
No, that's the
ribbon,
address.
not the address number. So,
So what's the total number that
one,
the request
2,
is?
3, 4, 5, 6, 10.
I think what you're asking is each individual pane and what,
That's the way our,
Yeah.
our
yes,
ordinance
yes,
is
yes.
written. It- it's
16.
yes.
For each,
and-
the
16.
pane.
Yes,
A lot.
and when I talked to, Mr. Pugh about it, he kind of explained it to me that it would be based on the exhibit is what y'all would be voting on, but if we're gonna break it down to each pane, then I don't have that figure.
I think she just said it's 16.
I'm
You know.
counting 16.
That's what she said.
Yes, sir,
Yeah,
it's
and
16.
then if you take off the just walk in on 2 sides, it would be 14.
Yes, sir.
Well, but we need to be clear here.
Yes.
That's not a proffer that she's offering. I mean, we need to vote on it
I can make that
as
motion,
it
though.
is.
Yeah, but she
so-
could,
I can make that motion.
Well, I mean, if she accepts it, but I don't know. Do you accept?
That's fine. Why I'm here today is to, you know, ask this on behalf of the client. If everything else can stay up, that's fantastic. I understand exactly what you mean if there's not a door on that side. Of course, I'm sure their preference would be to let everything stay up as is. But if we could move forward with everything in a manner that is approved, I think it would be fine to take those down.
So you're saying to just walk in on both the
On both
right-hand
of- on both
side
sides.
And
and
the
the
left-hand
left-hand side be removed, but all the ribbons and
Yes.
everything else
Yes.
stay as presented?
Yes.
I would make that motion if you're ready for
Well,
that.
we're not ready for that
Oh,
yet,
okay.
so we'll get to that in
Okay.
just a minute. So, let's go ahead and, open it up, the public hearing for anyone in the public that would like to speak for or against this item. I don't see a million people coming up here. So, at this point, we will close the public hearing. And comments from the council, Ms. Andrews.
You guys ready for it? I would.
Yeah, I think we're ready for it.
Okay, I'll make the, I'll make the motion to approve the exhibit as is minus the two just walk-ins on either side of the building where there are no doors. So the one on the front, and then the rest of the ribbons and the urgent care.
And, okay, moved by Ms. Andrews, second by Counselor Allemán. All right, any discussions? Any discussion?
My concern is that we've turned down a lot of people over the last 2 months, 3 months, maybe 6 months, who wanted stuff on their windows and we didn't let them do it. And there's just a lot of windows that have urgent care on them. And I understand the need for that. It's maybe kind of their emblems that they use. But anyway, 14 is a lot to me. So that's my concern.
I would argue that some of the other examples we've reviewed this past calendar year were a little bit more egregious than this.
No question.
And that given how many panes there are versus the area, the number may seem large, but it doesn't look as large overall.
Because there's so many windows.
Correct.
Okay.
We're also, excuse me, we're also not we are not looking at the content or what it's saying, we're looking at percentages.
Right, just
The
the
percentage.
actual, yeah. Well, and I will say, I know the motion's already been made, but, Julie just made a good point that on the front elevation, it does say urgent care 3 times. Well, but on the front, oh no, cause that's the front elevation too. It does say urgent care 5 times,
5 times.
which is a lot. I think at that point they've got it. Or they should.
Do you
Right.
want me to amend my motion?
That's
No.
up to you. Not
Okay,
up to you.
so we have a motion and a second, and the only other comment that I always make is that I will not be voting for this, because
We
I'm
didn't.
not for sign variances. We wrote the ordinance for a reason, and we spent hours and hours writing this ordinance. So that's just my position, but I respect everyone's opinion about this. So any other questions, comments? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, that was
I voted
9
with
to
you.
2.
I thought, yeah.
9 to 3, aye.
Let's have a roll call vote. Just make sure. 8 to 3, it can't be 9 to 3. Now, let's have a roll call vote just to make sure. Could we do that, please?
For these window permits, for these window signs? We must
Councilman
have a
Walden.
permit
No.
for
Okay,
them,
I didn't send that in.
overall.
Gear.
Yes.
Allemán.
No.
Wolverton.
Yes.
Sims. Yes. Brandt.
Yes.
Smith.
No.
Nelms.
No.
Andrus.
Yes.
Harden.
No.
President Jones.
No. It, according to this, it does not pass.
5, 6.
Okay, is there a specific part that could be changed to do anything? Or what do I need to do is I guess my question.
You need to work with Mr. Cook to determine how we can get the sign
Down to the
within
20.
our signed ordinance.
Down to the 20%.
Could you work with her?
Sure.
Please? Okay.
And I'm sorry, just one last question. Is that something that is going to be pain versus pain? Or will it be,
The way the
Per
ordinance
pain
is written, it's
calculation.
pain
Okay.
versus,
Yeah.
for each pain. Is that correct?
It
Okay.
says area.
It says area.
It says window area. That's the one thing that,
That is
yes.
correct, it does say area.
And I will say, you could redo the plan and come back to us. She could still ask for a different set of variances, correct? Yes. She could rework
Yes.
her plan and present a different, and maybe reduce the number of sign and variances as you're asking for.
okay,
Because I think that was part of the problem. It was just a lot, that was a big ask. And I get that that's their standard thing, but we've had other companies who've had situations in the past where we just can't approve what they want us to approve because it just doesn't quite fit. And that's a lot of variances to ask for. So you might think about redoing your proposal and
Okay.
scaling down on the ask.
Sure, and I completely understand that. Is there something in particular that made it stand out as just, for the people who voted no? Is there something in particular that really just made it stand out as to why you voted no, other than the number of variances that we're asking for?
I think that's part of it. Yeah, and like that, like we said on the front elevation with it saying urgent care 5 times, and knowing that y'all also have a monument sign in front of the building, that feels like a lot. I mean, that's like beating somebody over the head. I feel like with at least 2 mentions of urgent care, they should probably get it at that point. So I think that was part of it. And I did agree with Mr. Sims that the urgent care on the sides of the building, that does make sense, because that's not anywhere else. If you're coming from the Milo side or the Yummy Bowl Road side, you wouldn't see urgent care. You probably would see the monument sign, but, which that, I think that only says fast-paced health,
It
right?
has urgent care
It does
very
say urgent-
small on the bottom,
Okay.
which could eventually be covered up by the bushes when they get taller.
When they grow, okay. But I think 5 urgent cares on the front's a little lot, it's a lot. So I think I would just maybe rethink it and try to come up with not as much of an ask and something that was a little less, a lot.
Okay.
Just to clarify, does that start the whole process over? In which case, would it not come to us next time?
Well, it failed 5 to 6, so a new request would need to come and go back to committee, and then we would
I
need
guess
to
I'm-
set another public hearing.
I was just trying to clarify before signs
Yeah, it
disappear
would-
from council.
Yeah.
You're blocked. Do we have an idea of when the sign change might happen? Probably not till the beginning of the year.
It'll be after that.
Yeah, it won't be this year, because you're gonna have.
Well, yeah.
It'll be late January, early February.
Okay, so it would probably come back to us, as long as you got back on our agenda in January, because that's probably not.
That is, if some changes aren't made, where it has to go back to the, planning commission?
No, but she doesn't have to.
I know, but if the changes,
Right,
yeah,
with the
we don't have to
ordinance,
start the
right,
process
yes,
over.
yeah, because that can help too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think it's just safe to own that here for.
Anything else?
President Jones, just out of curiosity, procedurally then, I mean, because Councilor Andrus did reference amending her motion before the vote. I mean, could there be a counter motion at this time then offered?
According to Robert's rules, yes,
Okay.
there can be,
Okay.
but really, that amendment that was made to, and the proffer that you accepted was voted down. So if there's an alternative motion, that's fine, or we can move on. So it's at our purview.
I would make a motion to, for approval minus the 2 just walk-in signs on the side and removal of all urgent care and the red ribbon on the front of the building.
So the ribbons are there, but not the urgent care lettering.
Correct.
As in, like, just the ribbons would be blank?
All
In
Like
the
have
front,
all- okay.
yes.
Would you be willing to accept that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we have an amended motion. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, Mr. Harden seconded that.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
And just to clarify, the one urgent care in white on one of the panes on the front to the right of the door would remain, correct?
Brian?
That one,
Yes.
I think that may be a wall sign, actually, or is that a window?
It is, it's a vinyl decal on the window, yes, sir.
Yeah, but just that, I mean, I think that big urgent care gets the point.
Brian, do
across.
you have the picture of the actual building as it stands right now?
If you're,
It's in the packet she gave us.
specifically, if you're looking for the front, I believe
It's the
this
one
is
with the-
page 5.
Yeah, it's the one with the people that are scaled in there.
Okay.
And that is as it stands.
Okay. Yeah. So page 5,
We're looking for the front, yeah, there we go.
Okay. Okay, so hold on.
Yeah, that's it.
The most
That's
important
his.
person here that needs to make sure this is correct is Mr. Kendrick.
There is nothing I have that could be attached at this time. We have to get a new exhibit. To meet the new. Yeah, I mean, we can do that.
Yeah, we do that. We just need an updated,
Modify your proposal so we can attach it to the resolution.
okay. Does everyone understand what and that this is the way the procedure is gonna go? So we have an amendment to the previous motion. So we're gonna first vote on the amendment, okay? And then we're gonna vote on the overall plan. To accept the amendment, that's right. This-
And before we vote on the overall plan, I want to make sure I totally understand exactly what Mr. Sims asked for.
Okay, go ahead with the question.
All right, so we've got 5 places we say urgent health on the front of the building.
So-
We're going down to 2, and I'm not trying to.
no, we're going down to 1. There's all of the red ribbons
Only the
are.
Only the white on the right.
I don't
Correct.
have another
Okay,
one.
that's what I thought there was a.
And then the just walk in on the sides, on either side will be omitted.
Okay.
All right.
Okay,
All right, let me see if I understand that. On the sides, is the only thing remaining gonna be the red ribbons? Yes. On the sides alone? Okay, just the red ribbons on the sides. And then the front, anything being left off of the front?
The ribbons that say urgent care will be subbed out with blank ribbons that mimic the remainder of the red ribbons. The only thing that says urgent care that will remain on the front elevation is the white urgent care logo in the corner. The door vinyl will remain, and so will that just walk in that's right there beside the door.
And just to clarify, right now on the actual building, the urgent care and the just walk in are actually on different panes.
Yes, correct. That's what what you have in your hand is the updated version. The door and one of the windows were flipped, so the installer flipped it accordingly.
okay. Okay, so Mr. Seegers, if you'll call roll for the amendment.
Are we voting on the motion to reconsider?
Just to accept the amendment, not the overall plan. That's gonna be after we vote on the amendment.
You've got a procedural vote first.
Yeah, we gotta have the procedural vote to accept the amendment, and then we will vote for the overall resolution. Okay? So, for the amendment, to accept the amendment, Mr. Seegers, I don't wanna do a voice vote, or it'll be all over the place.
Yes, sir. Counselor Gwaltney? Gear.
Yes.
Holloman?
Yes.
Wolverton?
Yes.
Sims?
Yes.
Brandt?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Nelms?
Yes.
Andrus?
Yes.
Harden?
Yes.
President Jones?
And no. Okay, so that's a 10-1 passes the amendment. Okay, now, is there a motion to approve the amended plan through resolution?
Motion.
Okay.
Or second.
Okay, Mr. Wolverton, Mr. Sims seconded that. Please call roll one more time. You didn't think you were gonna be this busy tonight, right?
Counselor Gwaltney?
Yes.
Gear.
Yes.
Holloman?
Yes.
Wolverton?
Yes.
Sims?
Yes.
Brandt?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Nelms?
Yes.
Andrus?
Yes.
Harden?
Yes.
President Jones?
No. Okay, that passes.
I need you to get a new
So
exhibit.
we need to get,
Give it to Bo. He has the resolution.
Okay, you understand what he's asking for? Just put
Yes,
together
I
another.
just need a new proof with all of the changes that were
Yes,
discussed.
correct.
And we'll look at it, make sure it
Yep.
matches what they're talking
Yes,
about.
I can
and
do
then-
that.
so we all saw government in action here.
Ma'am, thank you for your
Solution.
Thank you.
I
for working
appreciate
with
you all
us.
hearing us out because
Absolutely.
I know while it's not what they asked for, I know that they would rather
Yes.
go for the amendment than have nothing at all. So I
That's right.
appreciate your patience with me as well.
No
Thank
problem.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so that passes, that's resolution 24-179, that passes. Okay, hopefully we have another fun one here. 06-12-24, public hearing set for tonight for consideration of a sign variance at 817 Green Springs Highway, Suite 101, Baba Java, J.J. Thomas, Brad Haynes, Mr. Pugh. Let's have a report, first of all, from Special Issues, Mr. Sims.
Yes, the committee met on December 9th and voted 4-0 to refer the item out to the full council without recommendation pending the public hearing. Motion was made by Counselor Andrus and seconded by Counselor Smith.
Thank you for that report, Mr. Sims. I'd like to go ahead and open up the public hearing. If we can get a synopsis here.
This is Randy, our head of marketing and design, so he'll be explaining kind of what we're.
If you could recommend, if you could tell us your name.
Oh, sorry,
just
Brad
for the record.
Haynes, I'm Vice President of Operations for Baba Java. Go ahead.
I'm Randy Webb. I'm the U.S. Marketing Director for Baba Java.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so we're asking for, there you go.
If we can go back to that first picture real quick. Yeah, so this is the current state of the building. We also understood window area to mean the full window area. So if you see, we've got the two large windows and the artwork that we've put in those top smaller panes. Originally, we sent in my artwork files that I'd sent to the sign company. The sign company sized everything, got it installed, so it varied a little bit based on the windows. So I went back, and when we get to the last slide in this, it's got all the exact measurements. I spent a lot of time in a ladder with a tape measure this week. And so this is where we're at. I took this picture from my phone, holding it like this, in the bike lane closest to the establishment. So out in the lanes, the further back you get, the higher that fence rises. In the summer, the bigger those bushes will get. Because we had talked about about bottom of the windows, but they're covered if you're any further away than the fence itself. The next obvious place is to move it down to the bigger panes below, and that's what's on the next slide. Where they currently are, they take up 34%, 24%, 33%, and 25% respectively, the four pieces of artwork. If we move them down to the windows below, they take up 10, 14, 14, and 10. So a couple of them are half the size that the variance allows for if we're going by the pane interpretation instead of the whole window interpretation. What we're asking for is a variance that allows us to leave the artwork as is in those top panes because we feel like it's not in the customer's way. It's smaller than it would be allowed if we moved it down and made it even bigger. We think this looks good, is not intrusive, and it tells the four things that are really important for us as a business to passersby for what we do. And so that's what we're.
And it doesn't obstruct view into, like if we moved it down and then it obstructs viewing into the business as well.
Yeah, and that last slide that's on there has way more math than this kid from McCullough should ever be doing. But I wanted to make sure it was accurate because we had originally been working off of mock-ups and art files, and so this was my attempt to make it as crystal clear as possible what the real sizes were.
And didn't y'all say that there's actually a counter on the inside
There's a
where people
bar.
can sit?
Correct. If you go to is it one slide before?
It's the previous picture.
It shows the customer sitting there. Yeah. So if we drop that down, you can see it's in his view then, depending on the height of the person, of course, but.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
And we feel like it's pretty tasteful. It's just lettering.
Okay, so it's really four
Yeah, that's it.
four variances that you're requesting.
Correct.
Okay.
Any questions?
I think it's 5. So this one.
We did not put logos on that door.
No, that doesn't exist yet. Okay. Correct.
Just the front elevation?
Just the front. Only
Just the front.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
All right, do we have any comments from the public? Okay. Seeing none. Comments from the council?
I'd make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, Counselor Smith made the motion. Counselor Harden seconded that. Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Aye. 10-1 passes.
Thanks, sir.
That's resolution 24-180. Thank you, gentlemen.
That's what this is. So this is the
Okay.
square
The
inches of
green
each
is the-
pane.
17-11-24,
Is-
public hearing set for tonight for consideration of amended development plan for 169 West Oxmoor Road. which centered on the proposed renovation of an existing two-story office building as the site for a planned mixed-use development. Said amendment proposing to further refine and modify some of the approved uses of the mean to allow the owner greater flexibility in securing viable tenants. Do we have a report from Planning and Development? Ms. Andrus?
Yes, the committee voted 5-0 to refer to full council without recommendation pending the public hearing. The motion was made by Councilor Jaleel Nelms and seconded by Councilor Andy Gwaltney.
All right, great. Let's see here. Go ahead and open up the public hearing. And comments from the public, if you could just sign in up there for us, we would appreciate it.
We got
Yep.
one public.
We're happy to have
Mr.
you.
Crossguard.
Do you want me to start?
Go ahead.
My name is Brian Crossguard, 173 Oxmoor Road. I am the applicant in this scenario, and as you noted, this is an amended development plan of a plan that was originally approved in 2023. And the primary reason for being here is a change in occupancy, where we were too specific in our first final development plan that we submitted, where we specifically got a restaurant, salon, retail, and office approved. Our goal here is to widen our opportunities for the type of tenants that are both pertinent for WHD zoning and gives us the opportunity to market to them, lease to them for the foreseeable future under the same development plan using the allowed uses that already exist in WHD. There are a couple of other items on here that we've adjusted that are mostly administrative, but considering we're here, they're also on the map. For instance, the ingress egress moves over to where it's fully onto our lot rather than being shared with the lot next door, which I also own and also has its own ingress and egress already. And then there's some minor adjustments to just kind of the general softscape and hardscape layout, parking structure, that kind of thing. However, we do maintain the angled spaces. We do note in our letter that those are intended for private parking as it's a vacated right-of-way. And so those are fully on the property. So they meet WHD, but reserve the right for private signage. I think that's the major talking points. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else from the public? Okay, seeing none, go ahead and close the public hearing. Are there any questions from the council?
When tenants start going into the facility, will we have any input on those?
No.
As long as they fit what the definition is
Okay.
under
Yeah.
mixed
So,
use, under
Okay,
so the
okay.
zoning is what dictates
Yeah.
the tenants. The problem is he refined the zoning down to specific tenants that he had in mind at the time.
Right, I'm aware of that.
Rather than kind of leaving it open to
Right,
Yeah.
what was allowed fully at the time.
okay. But only if it's out of variance or,
It has to meet the
zoning, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, all right,
Which is the zoning for West Homewood District, that's. yeah.
Correct.
okay.
And he's not rezoning anything, it's just,
Correct.
yeah.
I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Well, hold on a second. Let's have our first reading, Mr. Kendrick.
Yes, so it's an ordinance to amend the final development plan for the West Homewood zoning district for the property described in section 1 below in Exhibit A, attached hereto, previously approved by ordinance number 2870 on July the 10th, 2023. Whereas the planning commission has favorably recommended the amendment to the final development plan as required by the West Homewood zoning district, attached as Exhibit A. Now therefore be it ordained by the city council that the final development plan for the following described parcel of property as described in Exhibit A, located in the city of Homewood, Jefferson County, Alabama, more particularly described at 169 Oxmoor Road, parcel ID 20-0232003-006, being the same as hereby amended pursuant to the amended final development plan attached to Exhibit B. That from and after the enactment of this ordinance and approval by the mayor is otherwise becoming law, that the amended final development plan attached to Exhibit B shall control the uses and restrictions applicable to the property described in Section 1 in Exhibit A. Section 3, that December 16, 2024, at 6 o'clock p.m. is the time and place for the public hearing, which time any interested persons may be heard. Section 4, the clerk has given notice as required by law of the public hearing. Section 5, any part of provision or ordinance declared to be unconstitutional or invalid by a court of competent jurisdiction. All other parts or provisions or sections of this ordinance not thereby affected shall remain in full force and effect. Section 6, the ordinance shall become effective immediately upon its passage and approved by the city council and the mayor, or is otherwise becoming law.
Thank you, Mr. Kendrick. Do I have a motion for unanimous consent so we can deal with this tonight? Counselor Alderman made the motion. And I believe that was Counselor Wolverton. Seconded that. If you'll call roll, Mr. Segris, for unanimous consent.
Yes, sir. Counselor Gwaltney? Yes, sir. Gear?
Yes.
Alderman?
Yes.
Wolverton?
Yes.
Sims?
Yes.
Brant?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Nelms?
Yes.
Andrus?
Yes.
Harden?
Yes, sir.
President Jones?
Yes. All right, do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I think that was Ms. Nelms and Mr. Wolverton who seconded that. Roll call vote, please. Mr. Segris?
Yes, sir. Counselor Gwaltney?
Yes, sir.
Gear?
Yes.
Alderman?
Yes.
Wolverton?
Yes.
Sims?
Yes.
Brant?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Nelms?
Yes.
Andrus?
Yes.
Harden?
Yes.
President Jones?
Yes. That passes. That's 11-0. That's ordinance 2922.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. We have you can see the referral agenda. Not a lot on there. Do we have a motion to approve the committee referral agenda?
Second.
That was Gwaltney and Ms. Nelms.
Anders.
Oh, Andrus and Nelms. Okay, thank you. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 11-0, that passes. All right, we're nearing the end here. Other new business.
Sorry, Walter, your mic. Your mic.
Oh, sorry. Moving on to other new business, 13-12-24. Request to authorize the mayor to sign mutual agreement with Mountain Brook related to Brookwood Mall property. Mayor?
It actually is the mayor and the president of council.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. President. We talked about this a little bit last week at committees. This is an agreement that has already been in place. Mayor McCluskey and Mayor Welch came up with this a couple of years ago. Both cities felt like it was time to put it on paper and finalize it. And so that's what we're asking to do. Mountain Brook passed it last week at their last meeting of the year, and so we're looking to pass it at this meeting and get this in place for this year so that we'll have it all down. But I'm happy to answer any questions if anyone's got any.
Any questions? Okay.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, moved by Counselor Smith, second by Counselor Andrus. Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It's 11-0.
Thank you all very much.
Resolution, is that 178? No. No, wait. 181. 181, thank you. I missed 2 pages. All right. Moving on, 14-12-24. Request for consideration of approval of vouchers for December 3rd through December 16th. And this is Mrs. Smith's last time ever.
I might shed a tear.
I hate that.
Yeah, he hates it 'cause
I'll
it's
give you
coming
my
to
turn
him.
whenever you want.
I reviewed the vouchers, yesterday, and, had some questions, for Kelly, which she promptly answered. So I would make a motion to approve the, vouchers for the period of December 3rd through December 16th.
Second.
Okay, second. Moved by Mrs. Smith, second by
Sorry for someone else
Counselor
to jump in
Andrus.
there, but okay.
Okay, any questions? Thank you for your service, your continued service. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? That's 11-0. Resolution 24-182. 15-12-24 as the one we added. So thank you, Mr. Brandon Sims for spending the evening with us. We appreciate that. Request to authorize the mayor to sign contract with Huntress to increase cyber security. Mr. Sims is here to answer any questions, but I'll preface it with, this has already been budgeted. This is a proactive recommendation to go ahead and increase our security, which we always believe is a good thing. So this is really just a resolution to authorize the mayor to.
Well, can
sign the
I
agreement.
make one?
Sure,
'Cause
absolutely. Yep.
Bo and I called Brandon just to confirm, because we went through the budget to see. And so the original amount that was budgeted for this particular contract is still being billed. And this is an additional amount, but he's paying it from his existing budget. And he's gonna be taking $10,000 from the endpoint protection line item and $15,000 from the security utils, which I assume means utilities, $15,000 for that. So that is a total of $25,000 that is existed budgeting money that is gonna go to cover this $24,528, which, for the increase to this contract, which will also require the mayor to sign the DocuSign contract.
Got it.
Well, I think the manager was saying about the same.
So I will click confirm in the portal, but the DocuSign will go to the mayor. And the DocuSign is just for us to acknowledge and accept that the rate they are giving us is a discounted rate for the first term.
The budget amendments that you spoke of are not in this budget.
It's not a budget amendment, that, it's, I mean, is it a budget amendment technically?
It's a transfer.
It's a transfer?
Yeah, technically, it's a budget amendment to
change
transfer.
those.
It's no new money, it's just transferring from
moving it
those
to a
two
different-
accounts to satisfy that contract.
Okay, so do I need to amend a motion to both approve the mayor to sign the DocuSign document, but also to approve moving the $10,000 from endpoint protection and $15,000 from security utils to cover the $24,528 to Huntress? Okay.
Well, and, well,
Yes.
and just so we're clear, the line items are in the same actual account. But I don't know if that may be a Lester question, but, so.
Because like, it's under his maintenance contracts, but there are separate line items, so we'd still consider that a transfer.
That's a transfer.
Okay, all right, so that's my motion is to.
So that's your motion.
And Mike, I'll get you that information.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is there a
I'll second it.
Okay, second by Mr. Harden. Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 11-0, that passes. Resolution 24-182,
83.
is passed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sims.
Thank you, Brandon.
Okay, we're down to the mayor's comments.
Thank you again, Mr. President. First of all, happy holidays to everybody, since it's our last meeting of the year. City Hall will be closed on, is it the 24th, 25th, or the 25th and 26th? Okay. It's going to be closed on the 24th and 25th, and on January 1st. We also have the menorah lighting coming up on December 26th. It'll be at 5:30 out here on the old curve. So if you can join us for that, it's always a lot of fun and the greatest donuts that have ever existed. I also just wanted to, since we're at the end of the year, well, let me start by saying this. Thank you to everyone who helped put on the parade, Parks and Rec, Chamber of Commerce. Thank you to Bo for putting together the floats for us, and JJ for putting together the fire truck for me. It was a lot of fun as always, and always one of the best nights of the year. I also just wanted to thank all the department heads and the employees for all the work that they do for the city on a daily basis. It really is amazing how much goes into running a city government, even for a little town like Homewood. And so we appreciate everything that they do. I also want to thank the three that happen to be sitting right here. JJ, I don't know how we do it without you. Bo, you took on a job, and we threw more at you than was reasonable with a referendum immediately, and we appreciate all that you did for that. And even though he's not an employee, Mr. Kendrick, I truly don't know what we would do without you, everything you do for the city. This has not been the average year, and we appreciate everything that you have helped us with going through that. I'd also like to thank all of you. You know, what you do is important. You're not doing it to make money, or if you are, you're a really bad judge of how you make money. You're doing it because it is, because it's important and because you care about Homewood. And again, this has not been the average year, and this council has done important work all the way along. You have not taken the easy way out on some of that work, as we found out this week with the city manager referendum, that was not only the right way to do it, but the only legal way to do it. And there were easier ways to try it, and I appreciate that all the work that everyone put in on that for the last how many ever years we've been working on that. And you should be proud of where we are with it. Look forward to another year with everyone. We've only got one left for some of us, and only one left for this collective group. So look forward to working with all of y'all and getting city manager in place and getting everything ready for the next council. So with that, thank you again. Happy holidays.
Thank you, Mayor. Councilor Gwaltney.
Yes, sir, Mr. President. I will be brief. I will set public safety immediately following finance, unless, I can go before, since, there's got to be some benefit to sitting in this first seat, right? I would also just remind everybody we've got the employee lunch Wednesday at 11:30 here in Rosewood Hall. So come see our friends and the folks we don't get to see as frequently as Mr. Segrist and Mr. Bischoff. And I will just echo the mayor, Mr. Bischoff, but Mr. Segrist, thank you both for all the things you did for us. You guys go above and beyond for the parade, and it's greatly appreciated. We probably don't tell you enough. And Mr. Mayor, thank you for the autographed dog ball for adding. It is officially made it on the shelf.
Oh,
It's a
so
cherished
cute.
keepsake now.
Oh.
You made her day.
One of my favorite constituents.
Yep. That's it.
Good deal. Okay, Councilor Gear.
No announcements, but just Merry Christmas and happy all the holidays to everybody. And I do have a question. Are we not back until January or? Okay,
Correct.
January 6th. Okay, awesome. Well, y'all have a good holiday and safe travels. See you then. See you.
I just want to
Yes,
reiterate
Councilor Alderman.
the mayor's comments to say Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to everyone. As we're winding down to our last year on this term, I want to say how much I appreciate working with all of you. I've learned a lot from all of you and the commitment required to serve this city and make it as best as it can be. I also want to thank all of you for tolerating my children on the parade float.
Oh, they did great. They did great.
I'm sure they were, but
They were great.
I appreciate anyone watching my kids when they're not their own kids. And so thank you for doing that. We appreciate it. They had a great time. That's all they could talk about. So thank you so much. And again, thank you to all the employees that make Homewood great.
Thank you, Councilor Alderman. Councilor Wolverton.
I don't believe I have anything for Public Works, so I do not plan to set that. I also wanted to thank everybody that put together the float, had everything ready to go. Thank the fire department for responding in the middle of the parade to an incident in the street and getting that person taken care of and safely whisked away. And what else? Carlos's kids are great. We had a blast. And you saying that reminded me that I have some pictures from them seeing Santa that I need to send you that I didn't last week. So, but yeah, everybody had a good time. It was fun to see. I think the last couple parades, it feels like we've had a lot of conflicts. I know we've missed one or two, so it was fun to have a big group together again, and we certainly enjoyed it. So, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody, and let's enjoy some football bowl games.
Oh, Thank you. All right, Counselor Sims.
Yes, thank you, President Jones. I would like to set special issues for after public safety for January 6th. And then also, thank you, Mayor, for your comments. I think you covered a lot of great points of things upcoming, and also appreciate you for your first quarter in the office. Really have enjoyed working with you as mayor, President Jones, working with you in your new role as well. And look forward to the remainder of 2025 to celebrate the new year and wrap up our term. So Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy holidays, Happy New Year. Grateful to work with all of y'all. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. Counselor Brandt.
Just want to say thank you all for your hard work and clean living. Happy New Year.
All right, Counselor Smith.
I think this might be the first time I've ever had a referral agenda with no new finance items. It's really weird. I know, not one, but I do have other items that are still on the agenda.
You have one carryover.
Yes, I have
but not
carryover
anything
items that
new.
will still be adjusting. So I will have my meeting at 5 o'clock. Sorry, Andy. I am so happy to have Mr. Brandt here. I don't know if I said that last time, but it's so nice to have him with us, and echoing everyone else's comments. It's going to be a really good year. The city manager committee met prior to the meeting tonight, and we posted the job on Friday. We're going to continue to get that out in some different outlets, and we are going to reconvene on January 13th at 5:15 in order to review. That is the day that the application period closes, so we're going to get together that evening before council to review the applications that have been submitted. We already received one. Two. Oh wow, another one. Okay. So it's getting out there. So we'll be reviewing those, and we'll be keeping everybody updated as we move forward, with the hopes of having somebody in place by March 1st, 2025. And Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy holidays. Happy New Year.
All right, thank you. Counselor Nelms.
Yes, I just wanted to welcome Jody. I don't know that I've done that. I feel like there's been some kind of time warp or something, but welcome, Jody. Looking forward to, short time, but, us all serving together with you. And Merry Christmas. Happy New Year, everybody.
Thank you. Counselor Andrews.
I do not need to set P&D. I do want to thank the fire department for collecting for us for the warming stations last week, and I want to thank everyone who brought stuff in. That was a multi-city effort, so Hoover, Vestavia, and Mountain Brook also participated. And then, Brian, if you will share, so if you'll just bear with me for a minute, I have been obsessed with these signs. Yeah. They are everywhere. I don't know who this company hired to put signs out, but they are in Eastwood Mall. They are in Chelsea.
They've been pulled from Homewood several times.
Well, I want to thank Scott Cook. Last week, he pulled 150 of those signs, 150. So Sunday morning, yesterday, I was coming back from downtown, early morning, coffee run, and I'm sitting at the intersection of, Salter, Montgomery Highway, Highway 31. And it's everything in my power not to open my door and pull the signs that are in the right-of-way right there, because my best friend's behind me in the car. She'll think I'm crazy. So I'm just like sitting there. So I'm like, Siri, text Scott Cook or email Scott Cook. What's the subject? Private tutor signs. Scott, there are 6 right now in the right-of-way. I'm going crazy. He pulled 72 today. 150 last week. And 72 today. He said there were 10 by Trinity and All Saints, that intersection. That's why I say, how many $25 an hour? I'm obsessed with these signs. And they're I work over, I'll drive over to the Eastwood Mall area, which I know that's not what it's called anymore. They're out in Shelby County. Pinson. I'm obsessed with this sign. It is killing me. So I want to thank Scott Cook for taking my emails on a Sunday morning and for getting out there and doing such hard work, because it's just going to proliferate if we don't, put the hammer down. So thank you, Scott, for all the work that you do. And happy holidays to everybody.
And before we leave that subject, Mr. Kendrick, there.
All we gotta do is call them and tell them to be arrested.
We do have fines. There are,
Well, should I tell them that?
there are financial penalties here,
Okay.
so we need to,
It's a violation of the sign ordinance. You can be criminally arrested, or you can be civilly sued.
Let's sue them.
Give me
Just kidding.
that number, 905 something.
Yeah, let's arrest them.
okay. So Mayor, you know your new job for the new year. We want Miss Andrews to be happy, okay? Okay, all right, sounds good. Yeah, we all know the number is right there, so it shouldn't be.
Start off by telling me you need some tutoring.
That's right. They need some tutoring. That's what they need. All right, check on that too. Okay. Okay, to continue that holiday spirit, Counselor Harden.
Whew, man. I just want to wish everybody a happy holiday, Merry Christmas. As we are so busy right now, and I hope that y'all will do what I'm not very good at, which is to take some time to just slow down and appreciate all we've been given during this time of year, because it's really hard to do. So anyway, that's all I have.
All right, thank you, Counselor Harden. I just have a few things, and thank you, Mr. Seegers, for the parade, putting all that together. And one funny story was when we got to the tree lighting, and the lights came on, but they didn't all come on. And I looked at JJ, and he put his finger on his nose like Santa Claus, and poof, they just all were lighted. I mean, I don't know if you threw pixie dust or I don't know, but it was incredible. So, and it was great to see everybody. I hope we can continue that tradition, even in the new council for years to come. I felt like this is going to be our last one with that many people. You just need to bring your children every time. Yeah, but anyway, it was great, and people really had a good time, and also want to thank everyone here for the time that you do spend, and the ad hoc committee. I've asked for additional work, and you have stood up to the challenge, and it was not easy putting together the job description. I mean, these are things that we have never done before, so I mean, we're forging new ground here, and so I appreciate everyone who's serving on the committee to make this happen, to make this right. So that is really it, and Ms. Gear, we do not meet again until January. So I wish everyone Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we'll see you in January. We're adjourned.